They're gonna investigate that.
Wait,
alright.
No, it's not even that, but it's
so
like, I have
just saying
no fucking fingernail, dude. I have no nail.
He's saying that she hit him.
Yes, I'm drunk, but it's like, I have no fingernail.
Like the alphabet. Okay.
C-E-D-E-F-G-H-K.
Okay.
7, 8.
Okay, you stop.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Welcome back, viewers. Dave Epstein here from the Post-Pollock firm. Here to talk to you today about DWIs. We're going to look at some videos. We're going to see the do's, don'ts, insides and outs, and of course the overall advice is don't drive drunk. You knew that one. Whether everybody follows it is another thing. Let's start with the first video because I think it's instructive.
Hi, Officer Santiago. I thought you now have a camera on.
Man.
Alright, what happened?
This man ripped my fucking nail off my finger.
Okay. Alright.
Yes, I'm drunk, but it's like, I have no...
She just said, did I just hear that right? She just said, yes, I'm drunk, but. And now we're going to get into it. Let's see if she adds to that. And I was driving. Let's hope not, but we kind of know where this is going, don't we?
Okay. Well, all right. So you pulled into the lot here, right?
Yes, and I went to get a...
And you got too close to his car? And is that how this all started?
Yes, but I didn't fucking hit his car.
Honestly, she walked out and then...
I have no nail.
He's saying that she hit him.
Why would I hit him for no reason?
All right.
Why would I hit him?
What happened?
Honestly, I did not.
Okay. All right.
Okay, folks. A few things right off the bat. She's already said she's drunk. I'm not sure who called the police. It's not clear. Maybe we'll find out a little later whether she hit him or he hit her. They apparently got into some beef, and somehow she lost a fingernail. Throughout this, I am hoping to God that she is not the one who called the police to report her fingernail got picked off, because now she's admitted, A, I'm drunk, B, I was driving, I pulled up, and blah, blah, blah. That's basically conviction without even doing a breathalyzer, but of course they will.
I pulled into this Wawa. Maybe I pulled it a little too short, but it's like, I didn't fucking hit his fucking car.
All right, and when did you pull in the Wawa?
I don't know the exact time.
But is it recent?
Recently, yes.
Within the last few minutes?
To get a fucking cheesesteak, dude.
Within the last few minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I have no fucking...
Okay, I pulled in the Wawa recently, so there can be no claim that the alcohol tapered off, or sometimes it actually accelerates in your system. There's a whole thing called extrapolation, where experts will come in, often, let's say, with a death case, and they test your blood, and it's below the legal limit, but they say basically you were at such and such a level 4 or 5 hours before when the accident happened. Here, they're trying to establish that her drinking occurred in close proximity to when she pulled into this spot. She just gave them that too.
Damn, dude, look at my fucking finger.
I'm gonna document that. My job right now is just to make sure that. Okay, so listen, they're gonna investigate your hand. Okay, they're talking to them right now. They're pulling the cameras.
Like, I don't even
but listen, I have right now. What I have to do is I have to see if you're okay to drive, because there's.
No, I'm not okay to drive.
Okay, well, there's 3 things that we have to investigate right now. We have to investigate whether or not there's a car accident, whether or not you're okay to drive, and then listen, we have to investigate the assault that took place. Okay, so I have to
I have no fucking fingernail.
Okay, so I have to ask you a few questions to make sure that you're.
That's fine. That's fine.
All right, so can you hear me? Can we walk?
So now they're looking at an assault too. She says this guy hit her. Maybe we'll find out exactly what happened. But now they're investigating it. They want to see if she's okay to drive. She said, I'm not okay to drive. Folks, I don't know if she called them. But this is a big point. Everybody starts talking like crazy when the police are there. And I understand why. And they're doing, again, I'm not faulting the police. They're doing the job. They're doing it the way we pay them to do that job that way. They're supposed to detect drunk drivers, among other crimes and motor vehicle violations, and they're supposed to keep them off the road. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's always in your best interests. Now, obviously, I'll go back and say you shouldn't be driving drunk, but you are not required to talk to them. You are not. And let me tell you where this is important. There is a period when they're first investigating and they're asking you questions and you're not yet detained. You're not under arrest. So what does that mean? They don't have to read you your Miranda rights at that point, in that preliminary stage. But at the same time, anything you say during that period can be used against you in court. When she goes to court now, and I'll talk later about breathalyzers and why they might have to try to convict you on observation, they've got a slam dunk. I was driving. I'm not in any shape to drive. I just arrived recently. She's got all the elements. She was driving drunk. And again, I don't know if she called the police. She was so concerned about her fingernail that she lost sight of the bigger issue here, and that is she's going to get hit with a DWI.
Okay. All right. Are you diabetic or anything?
No, I'm not diabetic.
Okay.
I'm just
All right.
like upset right
All right. What's your highest level of education?
I just graduated college.
This guy is going soup to nuts, folks. You know what he's doing? Among things that can invalidate a breathalyzer test or skew it are medications and medical conditions, diabetic, I believe some diabetic medications. He's asking her about that. Same like he asked her, do they serve alcohol in Wawa, just to rule out that she could have gotten alcohol in her system after she drove her car. Now he's asking her about this stuff. The answer should be, I don't want to say anything, but let's see how much else she tells him.
All right, do you know the alphabet?
Yes, A, B, C, D, E,
All
F, G, H.
right. Can you recite the alphabet slow and clear without singing it? From C to Y. You're going to start at C and end at Y.
C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, H, Y, W, X, and Z.
Okay. Can you count backwards starting at 50 and stopping at 38?
50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40, 39, 38.
Okay. All right.
My nail has
I see.
fucking ripped off, dude. I have a
She keeps going back to that nail. This is, it seems to me she doesn't care if she goes to jail or anything. As long as her nail gets repaired, she's happy. She didn't have to do that roadside sobriety test. Here's a little secret for you, folks. And we're going to see some more videos where we see this again. Some states do require that you do the roadside sobriety test. Every state has some form of what we call implied consent. That is, when you get on the roads of this state, in New Jersey, you impliedly consent to certain things, one of which is giving a breathalyzer test if you are required to do it. Now, there can be issues, and we'll get into that in a minute, about whether there was probable cause to test you or not. But you will have to take it, and it can be a separate charge. It can be pretty substantial. You are not, under New Jersey law, as far as I know, required to do a roadside sobriety test. And I got to tell you something. I don't know if I'd pass half of them sober. You know, these walk the straight line. If you're not terribly coordinated, some people aren't good with their alphabets. I actually had a case where I represented a gentleman who couldn't say his ABCs, and I put his wife on the stand, and she testified under oath and verified he was illiterate. He didn't know his alphabets. A lot of things can happen. So let's get back to the video. Let's see how she's doing. Not well, as far as I could tell.
Yeah, so I'm gonna.
It fucking hurts.
Yeah, so we're gonna have someone at the station take care of that. Okay.
No, it's not. I don't even want to be taking care of. I just want to go home.
Okay. All right. So real quick. All right. What I want to do is I'm gonna do a few tests. I'm gonna check your eyes. Okay.
Well, I'm intoxicated. It's
okay.
Obvious.
All right. Well, can you do me a favor? Can you just put your arms in it? We're going to investigate this assault. We have two officers that are investigating it right now.
He's being thorough. He didn't really. She just admitted, I'm intoxicated, which, you know, to her credit, I don't know if she knows the consequences or she's really aware of that. But he still does these roadside sobriety tests, which again, we'll see some more later on in the other videos, they're not that easy to pass, even when you're sober.
All right.
Again, I have
All right.
no.
Okay. So I do have to place you under arrest for driving while intoxicated. It's a traffic ticket. It's
Okay.
not a crime. Okay.
Am I going to jail?
You're not going to jail. You're going to a police station. All right. And then when we get to the station, I'm gonna have someone come out and take a look at your finger. All right.
Okay.
So do me a favor and place your hands upon your back. All right. And then can you take this off?
Can you make it a safe with me though?
Yeah,
Because it
yep.
has all my money in it.
Alright, you have the right to remain silent, and anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have one present while you are being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any statements or answer any questions. Alright, do you understand your rights?
I understand.
With these rights in mind, do you wish to speak with me at all? No? Okay.
So there's Miranda. How much has she said already? How much has she done already? She's given them the case. Now I assume they're going to go test her, and I got news for you. Sometimes those breath tests do not work correctly. I mentioned one thing, you might have an underlying medical condition, although she ruled that out for him. But there's a lot of reasons those things can be thrown out, and then they can't use them. So then they have to convict you, if they want to, through observation. That's observing you saying, oh, I smelled alcohol, they were staggering, their speech was slurred, and they did horribly on field sobriety tests. If you do those tests, which you're not required to do, and you get the breathalyzer thrown out, you're helping them along with evidence of your intoxication that they wouldn't have had. Now, you have to cooperate to some extent, but this is a little farther than her lawyer would probably like. Let's take a look at the next DWI and see what happens with this individual.
Police lights, you're supposed to pull over.
Yes.
Please step out of the car. Please step out of the car.
Thank you.
Why?
Because the car's in your possession.
Oh,
Right.
boy.
Step back to the back of my car, please. Over here, over here, over here. Stand right in front of my car.
This is going south fast. I mean, she saw how she swayed when she got out of the car. You saw how she he said, go back here, and she just starts to wander away, sort of half staggering. Not going to be good.
What's your name?
Laura.
Where you come from?
Compton Plains.
Compton Plains? You're in Compton Plains. Where were you before Quick Check?
Compton Lakes.
Compton Lakes? What were you doing there?
I was just going home.
From where?
Compton Lakes.
What were you doing in Compton Lakes?
I was just going home.
You were going home? You have anything to drink tonight?
No.
Any alcohol? None?
No.
None at all?
No.
You take any drugs? No? Nothing illegal?
So now she just said she wasn't drinking, she wasn't taking drugs. They could say she gave false answers to a police officer. She didn't have to say anything. They said get out of the car. I guess she has to get out of the car if they order her. But she doesn't have to say anything. Give your license and registration insurance. Always have it ready. Hand it over. You don't have to say a blessed thing. Even you don't have to wait for them to give you your Miranda rights before you stop talking. You gotta, for example, if they go to search you, do you have any sharp objects in your pocket? You have to answer that. That's for their safety, and they're supposed to do that. But you're really not required to say anything. And in her case, that would have been a really good idea, because the more she talks, oh boy, it's just pretty much the writing's on the wall.
Nothing like that?
No.
Okay.
10-4.
What's in your mouth?
Nothing.
Stick your tongue. What's your highest level of education?
Bachelor's.
Bachelor's? So you don't have any issues with the English alphabet or counting numbers? Nothing like that? No problem? Starting with the letter B and stopping at the letter K. Recite the alphabet.
C E D E F G H K.
Okay. Starting on the number 52
Ouch.
and counting backwards, stopping on the number 36. Got
51,
Yep, go ahead.
50, 69, 68, 67, 66, 65, 64, 63, 64, 63, 62.
Okay, folks. I'm no toxicologist, but she's hammered. She would have been better off staying in her car and not saying anything, because she's just singing. Now, keep in mind, we're also expecting somebody to act perfectly so that they'll make their lawyer all happy about, giving them a chance to defend them when they're drunk. And that's part of the problem, is your judgment's off, your thought processes are off. You don't think like you ordinarily would. It sounds like she's a fairly intelligent woman, but when you're hammered, you're hammered. And it's not going to come out the way you want it. Let's see what else happens.
60, 69, 60,
Okay, you can stop.
59,
You can stop. You can stop. And look the you need some water. Okay, you can stop. Have a seat on the front of this right here. Please. Put them on the hood of my car. Seat on this, not the edge of my car. Do you have a glass eye?
No.
And you just wear glasses, you're not wearing contacts right now? Okay. Guys,
Okay, they're doing the roadside sobriety tests again. I guess they feel they have to. Right now, her speech is slurred. She was not counting backwards properly. She seems to be swaying. I guess they have to be careful because, as I said, if for some reason there's a defect with the breathalyzer and it can't be used, or the results can't be used, then they have to convict you on observation. So I understand they want to be thorough, but if I were a judge watching this thing, I'd need to see about 45 seconds to conclude she appears to be drunk. But good for them for being thorough. Let's see what happens.
Tilt your head down a little bit. Just keep it straight. Yep, just look like that, okay? Keep your head straight. Follow as best you can. All right? Keep following. You're not. You're looking at me, not the pen.
I am.
You're looking at me, not the pen.
I see it.
Can you follow it with your eyes, please?
Yes, sir.
Follow the pen.
Yes, I see it. I see it.
Okay, stand up for me. Yeah, please. We're going to put your glasses, put them in the car. You tell me.
Wherever you want.
You can put them back on if you'd like. Go ahead. Here you go. They're right here. We put them right here.
Folks, I'm watching this. Now, I mentioned earlier, I think a judge would see that she was plastered the first minute out. She got out of the car and she looked dazed and sort of disoriented. She was in what we call an altered state. This guy is running her through this whole battery of tests. And she's trying. I mean, I'm watching her. She's trying to follow the light and this and that. And it looks like he's going to do some more. I don't know if I would fault him. The officer's being thorough. But at some point, I would think that he would just say, okay, we think you're drunk and we're going to take you in. But what he's doing, folks, is he is gathering as much evidence from her to prove that she is drunk. And that is just in case that breathalyzer doesn't work. Now, again, in New Jersey, I do not believe you are required to take a field sobriety test. In some states you are. I think maybe in Texas and other states, that can be its own separate offense, failure to comply with an officer's order that you go take a field sobriety test. Not in New Jersey. If you're in a state, you should find out if you're in a state. But you really, I mean, maybe if you do really well on the sobriety test, you'll do well, and oh, yippee, I won't get charged. Don't count on it. Let's continue.
We have them right here. Here you go. You don't have any. Do you have any injuries to your legs
No way.
that would prevent you from doing a walking test?
No.
Okay. What about a balance test? No injuries? You're willing to do the test?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Keep your arms down to your side. And don't move from that position until I tell you to. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. Put your feet together for me. Yep. Just like that. Just do as best you can.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Failed with flying colors. She's stumbling. She's really slow to get her feet out in front of her. And plus, she's wearing heels, which is also another thing. If you're wearing heels, don't think, well, I didn't have that many drinks. I can go out and blow through this field sobriety test. Not so much in heels, and even not so much, even again, when you're sober.
11, 12, 13, 14.
Turn.
15,
Oh boy.
16, 17, 18, 19. Yes, sir.
Come back over here.
19.
Come back over here. You're good. You're good. Stop. Come back over here and stand in the position. See? Turn around.
Yes, sir.
The next test is going to be a balance test.
Yes.
Okay?
It's like, mother, make it stop already. How many tests does he have to do on her? You got plenty of evidence here. But again, I guess he's going to go for everything he can. He went through his whole field guide, and he's going to go through the whole thing. That's what we pay these guys to do. So if you're the person being tested, again, your judgment isn't all there. You didn't have to do all this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Stop.
All right. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Continue. But if you're going to fall, don't.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay, you can stop.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Maybe I should be commenting on whether the police could be liable if she fell and hurt herself. It's obvious at this point that she's drunk, and they got her doing all these acrobatics. It's clear as a bell she's drunk. Knock it off already. Honestly, I mean, again, I know they have to investigate, but they're not close enough to her that if she takes a slip and spill and she's on concrete and she's drunk, I think that could be actionable. So at some point, I think it's a matter of her safety. Just book her and take her in for a breathalyzer. It's so clear. I think this goes too far. I think they're risking actually her getting hurt with all this hopping around.
Turn around. You're being placed under arrest. Your driver wants to ask you. Stop.
I'm sorry, sir.
Turn around. It's okay. Turn around for him.
It's okay.
Put your hands behind your back.
Here.
It's okay.
There you go. Good.
Okay, so folks, we saw 2 instances of DWIs. I gave you my thoughts on the do's and don'ts. Of course, the big don't is don't drive drunk. There's all ways to pace yourself, drink water in between drinks. Keep tabs of where you are with your drinking. If you do go out and you get pulled over and you're not sure, there are charts that'll show you based on your height, weight, how many beers it takes to get you to .08. You would be shocked to find out, even for big guys, how little it takes to get you up to that point. So it's always better with a designated driver, get an Uber driver. Again, if it does happen to you, you want to be polite to the officers. In both these videos, listen, that last one, I thought they went too far. I think he was just being thorough. I don't think he was trying to be mean. It's just at some point and he did stop, to his credit, because it was clear she was not doing well on these tests, and I was afraid she was going to get hurt. But be respectful, but you do not have to say anything. You give them your license, registration, and insurance. You are required to give a breath sample if they require it. Whether they had probable cause or not depends, but if you do all these field sobriety tests, say, yeah, I had a drink, I did this, I did that, that adds to giving them probable cause. All of that goes into evidence, even though they didn't give you Miranda rights. So you're basically giving them elements that they might or might not have. Now, the breathalyzer. A lot of things can invalidate a breathalyzer. One of them is that the machine wasn't properly certified. They have to calibrate and recertify these machines on a periodic basis. If not, they're using scientific evidence. It has to be deemed reliable. And the people who design these, working with the forensic experts and the state police, they figure out ways to make sure that these things are accurate so that you can make sure that they are on the money when you blow in. You know that .08 is a .08. Sometimes they forget to do that. That could knock out the breathalyzer test. Could also be that the operator, the person who's operating the machine, has not recertified. In some states, that New Jersey, I believe they still do. It's invalid if the person wasn't current in their certification. And sometimes that happens. Police officers get busy, whatever. All of a sudden, that breathalyzer is not admissible. If you sat there in your car and said, yeah, I had 3 beers here, and then I had another shot over here, and I did this, I smoked a couple of joints, well, that's a whole separate issue, is drugs. But you're giving them the case that they wouldn't have if the breathalyzer got thrown out. You also have to let your lawyer know. Now, some of these officers were very good about asking, do you have a medical condition? Do you have this? Do you have that? To see if there are factors that could later come up and say, this would skew the breathalyzer test. There are many. There are physical limitations that could affect your ability to do well in field sobriety tests. I mentioned, and intellectual, I mentioned before, a guy who was illiterate, he didn't know his alphabet. So he couldn't say the alphabet. He tried, and that was deemed invalid. A lot of things can happen, but the most important thing is you don't want this to happen. Don't drink and drive. Always use a designated driver. And if you feel like you've been drinking too much and you got your car, call an Uber or go somewhere and sleep it off. I don't want to see you have to call a guy like me to come bail you out of this mess because it's expensive and it can really affect your life. Thanks for watching. Please hit like, please subscribe, and we love seeing your comments. I'll look forward to answering them. Thank you. See you next time.